Picture it, Salem, November 8th, 2020. Yep, we're going to break it all down for you right here on AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days, starting now.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days, where we give you a full dish of this week's episodes of the hit NBC soap opera, Days of Our Lives. I'm your host, Tony Moore, and I am joined by my usual gaggle of gals. We have to my far left.
Hi, Michael Mattis. What's up?
And
What's up?
traveling through time and passport TSAs to get here, we have...
Hey guys, Chelsea Overocker. Happy to be here and present.
She did a different wave and it tickled me.
Hi
everyone.
I'm trying to mix it up a little bit.
It was almost, I almost expected a spin in your chair. Like, hi everyone, Chelsea Overocker here reporting for duty.
Hey, next week, who knows?
And our very lovely Tammy Govea is on vacation. She went on a flight on Southwest, and we have no idea where she is.
San Jose.
Oh, well, thank you, Michael Mattis, for knowing where she is. I thought maybe she time traveled to November 17th, 2020, and is hosting her own version of Dishin Days in the future. I thought it was funny. If you're watching live, thank you so much for tuning in.
It's important that you thought it was funny, Tony.
That's the only thing that matters is my chuckle. If you're watching live, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're watching later, thanks for adding more views to our account. If you're listening to us on the podcast, hello podcasters, thank you for tuning in as well. Make sure you like us and follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days on Facebook and Instagram, and _Dishin Days on the Twitter. The @ is still implied 4 years later. Thank you very much, Ryan in the booth. Shout out to you. Also, if you are a lover of soaps and want to catch up on all of your favorite soap operas, we do have other recaps as well. We have the Restless Wrap for Young and the Restless and the GH Report for General Hospital. And next month, the Bold Breakdown will be returning to give you all things bold and beautiful. And if you haven't already, make sure you check out Tammy Govea and Chelsea Overocker every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for all of your soap news on Soap Opera Weekly. And that has been your church announcement on AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days. All right. Whew. Well, first of all, it has been a lot. We took a week off last week because we had an amazing weekend. Shout out to everyone at NBC, Corday Productions, Days, for coordinating Day of Days. We spent a lovely day at Universal City Walk chatting with many of our favorite Days of Our Lives stars and getting insight into what was going to happen.
Yes. Everyone was just so sweet, and again, just even for our AfterBuzz party that we had here, you know, this is what we love doing, just be able to connect with the fans, meet you guys, and I went home just shocked. So it was
exhausted.
Exhausted.
Yeah.
But so thankful.
Dogs were barking.
Yeah.
So thankful to have met you guys who came. So thank you. And you guys really made my night.
Yes.
Really.
Our meet and greet was very successful. I'm so glad that you all turned up. First of all, I was shocked at, like, right before we opened the doors, there was a line.
They come early.
They
don't wait till open. They don't wait till the door opens.
First of all,
they line up.
Like, they lined up themselves. Like, when I went outside, the line was so organized, and like on the other side of the street, like, and so that people could still walk by, and everyone came in, and it looks like they had a great time. They got to see our lovely studio. They got to do fun videos in our green screen. They got to take pictures, and a special shout out to all of the stars that stopped by: Miss Marcy Miller, Brock Kelly, who hadn't premiered yet. He stopped by, so thanks, Brock. Vincent Irizarry, Kevin Spiritus, Jonathan McClendon, and...
I think that was it. I think that was it.
Was that it?
Yeah.
Am I leaving anyone out?
No.
Got it.
Yeah.
And Molly Burnett.
Whoops.
Oh.
And Molly Burnett.
I knew there were 6. And Molly Burnett. So hope you guys had a good time. Thank you guys so much for all your tweets, all your love, all your support. Many of you who said they can't wait to come back next year. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, This week, what did we think about the time jump on days?
I was telling Mark J. Freeman, who was in here chatting with me earlier, that this was a week I felt like I could not turn away. Like, I could not be distracted.
Yeah.
Because there was so much info coming at you.
Yep.
And you didn't know when it was going to come at you. You didn't know when it was going to hit you. And yeah, so figuring out, seeing the predicaments everybody's in now, but then figuring out and then being told, through like flashbacks and conversations why they're in these situations. It was interesting. It was interesting to watch.
I loved it. I think this was genius. My mom was even texting me throughout the whole week like, oh my gosh, did you see what happened here? And we're trying to like put everything together. And I'm just thinking, wouldn't it be so cool if we could do a time jump in real life? Has there ever been a moment that you just want to time jump and skip over it?
Girl, I'm old. No.
Oh,
well, I've wanted to do both. I've wanted to go back and I've wanted to move forward.
Oh, yeah. Like, for example, if you get your car serviced, time jump. If you're on a date
You can't
with
wait them
someone,
30 minutes.
Hey, you know
30
what?
minutes? Where are you getting your car service?
It takes a while.
Because I want to go there.
Appointments.
Appointments. If you're on a date with someone and you don't know why you swiped right, time jump.
Well, you know what you do in that instance?
Yes.
Get up. That's what you do. That's your time jump.
Ooh, mama, get a head right out of here.
Yeah. I have to say, this week was the first time in a long time I watched Days practically as soon as it came on. Because I wanted to know what was going to happen next. I watched, I was caught up because I normally watch 3 episodes on Saturday and then 2 on Sunday before we come in. Friday I was caught up. Friday at 2 p.m. Done.
Yeah.
Because I thought that what they did was so genius. The only thing that I was kind of like, y'all, was a lot of the fans were like, I have questions. And I'm like, you have to watch the show.
Girl, we all got questions.
Yeah. But it's like, how did Haley die? And it's like, we don't know.
Get it eventually. Yeah.
But what they were doing was dropping little nuggets in every single episode to make, and you literally had to be Nancy Drew this week.
Yeah.
And you had to kind of put things together and take information as it was given, because they literally took Salem and went, and was like, all right, we're going to make this work. So I thought I was just amazed. Like, it was a whole new show this week.
Yeah.
It's a whole new show. Yes. New sets.
Yes.
New, things look good. It was good.
Even like Sarah's hair got longer too.
Well, you
got some new hairs.
New hairs.
Yeah. Just a little
Nicole had a wind blown, whatever you want to call that.
Sleek.
It was like a mohawk.
Not an updo, but like a sweat. What's that?
It's like a faux hawk.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Yeah, very, very modern.
I've noticed with Ari Zucker, when they want to make her like boss bitch Nicole, they give her a hairstyle like that.
Yeah.
They don't just let her have her usual like bob or whatever she has. They always put some product in it, slick it back.
Yeah.
That's how we know she's business Nicole.
All right. Well, let's really dive into it. Oh, before we dive into it, shout out to the folks at NBC at Day of Days who passed out these lovely Brady Pub aprons. I am living my Brady Pub fantasy. Hello, welcome to the Brady Pub. Would you like to order clam chowder today? Just practicing.
Good. It looks good.
Just practicing. All right, let's get to it. It's now time to start
Dishin
Days. Chelsea.
Ta-da!
All right. Oh, so much to talk about. Let's get into it. Let's start with Jennifer, Jack, Eve, Princess Gina, and Justin. All right, so first off, when the time jump happens, which I thought they did an amazing job with how they got us into the time jump. With Marlena and John presenting Jack with the hourglass and saying that when the sand runs out, her eyes will open. And then when the sand ran out, Jennifer's eyes opened. And to see Matt Ashford or Jack, explain to Jennifer that it had been a year. It was like, whew. And then everything started happening as far as she had questions, we had questions, and then the nuggets started happening. I was just like, A lot of people were like, when did the time jump happen? And I was like, did we not see Jennifer laying in bed with longer hair?
Yeah.
Yes.
And Jack say, you've been in a coma for a year? That's when the time
They
jump
missed the
happened.
first act, I guess.
Yeah. And the montage of him being in the hospital and like caring for her and like
Brushing
you
her
know
hair.
and brushing her hair and like making sure her legs and stuff worked. And then always being like, oh, and then like turning over the hourglass and it was just it was really good. It was really good.
Oh, that was a cute moment. I loved them two together, and it just really defined their relationship more, even after a whole year.
Yeah.
So I thought that was good, and I liked how they did the time jump with Jack and Jennifer.
Yeah.
Because we knew about it for a while, but we were like wondering how are they going to jump time?
Yeah.
And this way was really great.
Well, because everyone kept saying someone was going to go into a coma and then the time jump was going to happen. Well, the first person who kind of went into the hospital was Julie. Then it was Kate
and Julie, yeah.
Then Stefan died. And then who else was was there someone else in the hospital right before?
Rafe? Well, he just...
Rafe
Rafe briefly, but you know, he didn't slip into a coma. And then all of a sudden it was like, boom, Princess Gina knocks over Jennifer. Jennifer is out. And then a year later. Like, no, I don't think anyone expected that to happen. And of course, in true soap form, she doesn't remember what happened.
But she's starting to put it together, though, because she's saying, someone pushed me, and she knows that it's not Eve. She just has this gut feeling.
Well, because it cut to Eve being in jail, and apparently what has happened is that, if you guys remember, before the time jump happened, there's a fly. Sorry. Before the time jump happened, Hope and Rafe were looking at a surveillance video, and they could see someone else in the surveillance video with Jennifer. Well, cut to a year later, Ralph doctored up the video surveillance to make it look like Eve was there, and that it must have been Eve who pushed Jennifer off, which is why Eve is in jail and has been for almost a year. And so when she heard that Jennifer woke up, she was like, "Thank God, now Jennifer can like." You know,
tell what happened.
Yeah.
But Justin was like, "I'm sorry, girl. Like, she don't remember." But Jennifer was like, "I don't feel like it was Eve."
Okay. Did you notice the way Princess Gina? I'll call her Princess Gina. I want to call her Hope, but whatever. We'll call her Gina.
It is Princess Gina right now.
Anyway,
put some respect on that name.
Can I finish?
You can finish now.
This is a good time for me to take a sip.
The way she like barreled through the room door, because she heard that Jennifer was awake. She literally was like, I was like, girl, calm down.
Well, you know.
But yeah, she wants to make sure that Jennifer doesn't remember seeing her. Yeah.
Well, she's, you know, she has to be Hope. So, you know, that's how Hope
But it was just the way it just cracked me up. It's like someone said there was like free cocktails or something.
For a split second, though, you're kind of guessing when she enters the hospital, okay, is this Hope? Did they figure it out? Or is it Princess Gina? It wasn't until later on when she gives Jennifer that hug and then the eyebrow raises. And you're like, okay, it's Princess Gina.
And she was all worried and like thinking that, well, she said that Kayla told them that there was no way that Jennifer was coming back. And she was like, you know, in her Princess Gina way, like, she said that there was no way that Jennifer would return. They must take care of this. Eyebrow. Oh, see, you can do it. I hate you. But then she tried to get rid of her again with the pillow. Because she tried to do it a year ago, and now she's trying to do it again. Well, she tried to do that again.
Yeah.
At least I thought so.
Did she?
She was hovering over her.
Yeah. Were they like were they alluding to the fact that she might, and then I'm trying to remember. Maybe I missed that part.
Well, she came back in, remember? And then Jennifer was and then she like, Hope, and she was like, yes. So that happened. And then Justin is Eve's lawyer, and again, Eve has been in jail for the past year, which I was kind of glad that Eve is still on the canvas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I thought for sure after that drunken
Right.
night that we wouldn't see her again.
I love Drunk
Drunk Eve is like, yeah, I want to be friends with her.
But even she was like, I was drunk. I wouldn't have dragged myself out of the Salem Inn to go put there's no way she would have made it.
Like up there, yeah.
Yeah. Without someone seeing her and then having enough force to push Jennifer in a drunken state.
Yeah.
Some people, they get, what am I trying to say? When they're drunk, they get some kind of strength.
They get angry drunk.
They get
what it's called?
Angry drunk.
Okay.
Or just like they get to a point where they're not drunk enough to be like fall down drunk. Mm-hmm. But they have this power or whatever. Maybe that's what happened to her.
That's how bar fights happen.
Exactly.
Yes.
Interesting.
So,
I don't know. I'm an angel.
Oh.
Never been drunk. So that storyline intrigued me as far as having Jennifer trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together, and also us putting the pieces of the puzzle together of what has happened.
We also found out that through that storyline that Chad and Abigail are back in Salem.
Yes.
And we find out more about what they're up to later, but they entered and that JJ is looking rough.
Looking real rough.
That was one of the pieces you had to put together for the beginning.
Why does JJ look like he's disheveled, hasn't showered or shaved, and
exactly, because of course he loves his mom, but to be taking pills and everything, okay. And then suddenly when they weren't showing Haley, it's like, okay, what's happening to Haley?
Okay, well then let's just get into that, and then we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
So Brady, JJ. Haley and Kristen.
I was so intrigued. One of the things that really intrigued me, one of the things I really wanted to know, and as I texted the group chat, do we figure this out? It happened I'm like, oh, okay, there it is. But why?
See, he was one of them people that just gotta wait.
I know, right? I was like, if I waited 5 minutes, it would have been right in front of me. But why there was so much animosity between Brady and JJ?
Right.
That really intrigued me. I was like, oh, so they're at odds.
And when I saw that, I thought, they've never interacted before.
Right.
And I love the fact that with this time jump, there are characters who haven't interacted with each other interacting with each other, which again makes it a brand new show. And it's weird because sometimes we've even interviewed people here and realized I've never had a scene with them, but they've been on the show for years. They're part of the family lineage. At some point your paths should cross. Well, honey. In 2020, paths have crossed.
Yeah.
So I liked that tension, and I liked that, again, the little nuggets were being dropped, that it's there, but it's not there, if that makes sense, as far as what happened. All we know is that Kristen lost the baby, and I think the same night, or it seems like
I don't think we know the timing of the two events, but yeah, Kristen lost the baby.
But then at some point, Kristen murdered Haley.
She pushed Haley down the stairs.
Pushed Haley down the stairs. Yeah.
We found out that Haley was dead because JJ was looking at her plaque, and then
well, he was talking. Classic days. He was talking to himself in a room, but we didn't realize he was talking to. I think he mentioned her or something, but it was in past tense. And then he mentioned Haley, and then the camera panned up, and it was in loving memory of Haley Chen.
Right. Yeah. So then the question was, how did she die? And throughout the week. And then JJ went to the meeting with Eric, Brady showed up with Maggie, and then there was that tension between them. And it's did Brady have something to do with it? I'm like, did Brady maybe... And then all these thoughts, did Brady go back to drinking, and there was an accident? And then we figured out later through conversation that Kristen was the one that killed Haley, and then we found out later that it was by pushing her down the stairs. And it was after Kristen had lost the baby. Because we also learned that Kristen lost the baby.
Yeah.
We learned a lot from that AA meeting.
But for some reason, okay, this is the story that I put in my mind, was that I thought for some reason, as the pieces of the puzzle were coming together, and this is not true, this is just what I thought, that she actually gave birth to the baby, but something happened to the baby.
I think it was stillborn or something.
Maybe. And she blamed Haley.
Because Haley's the nurse.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
I mean, like I said, like you said, we don't have all of the info yet. We just have nuggets.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it could be. It could have been something that happened at the
like it's that
hospital.
way.
Do we know, did Kristen lose the baby before it was born, like you said, or was it stillborn? Did it die after birth?
For some reason, I don't know. There were times where I thought the baby had been born, and then there were times where I wasn't sure if the baby had been born. We still don't know the full answer, but like I was trying to figure out, did the baby pop out, or did it make it full term or not? Because they went to the flashback to like what, 6 months before, and she came in and it was kicking, and then she was like, "We would be so happy if the baby had survived." So I don't know.
I took it as she lost the baby before birth.
Before birth.
Before birth, yeah.
I kind of get that way too, and Haley being a nurse, maybe she just didn't get Kristen in the room in time, or there had to be some delay, and that's when Kristen feels like it was Haley's fault.
Yeah.
But
I have another...
It's just an idea.
Another idea of what might have happened, because there was, whenever there's 2 concurrent pregnancies on a soap opera, what do you think's going to happen? When there's 2 concurrent pregnancies on a soap opera,
one's going to die
happens?
and one's going to live.
Or
you think I got switched?
maybe Bristen's baby is actually someone else's baby. You know what I mean?
No. We don't need that. Because there's already
We don't need it, but they might do it.
There's already a soap
opera staple.
There's already a ball of confusion with that. And we'll get to that in a second. But like, oh, you don't mean that baby.
Yeah. I'm thinking that the babies
Mickey.
It was actually Sarah's baby. Something happened to Sarah's baby, and the baby that they think is Sarah and Eric's is actually Kristen and Brady's.
Yeah, no.
Then that would have been born. They both would have been born at the same time. And
right. That's always happens when there's 2 concurrent pregnancies on a soap opera. You can count on a baby switch.
Nah, I'm good with that. Well, I'm gonna be a fan like this because like that they have their own mess. They have their own mess.
So
I don't know. We don't need more mess on top of mess.
I mean, it would be interesting, but I do like how they unfold between Brady, JJ. I liked how they were in that meeting and Brady breaks down and just saying, "I wanted to take a drink. I wanted it, but I didn't." And I don't know. It was a very cool moment just to show his sensitive side with that.
Yeah.
So, because we never, in the past couple of months, we've never really got to his addiction, and I really liked how they really shed some light on it going into it.
Well, let me tell you who wasn't buying any of it. JJ.
Yeah.
Because JJ
Shut the hell up.
Yeah, JJ was looking at him like he wanted to stand up and be like, "Boo! Boo! Not buying it!" Oh, is that from Big Business?
What?
That
hiss? Like the hiss?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just like...
Oh.
That's what people do. They boo and they hiss.
Oh, I thought you might have watched Big Business because she used to do that.
The Bette Midler movie?
Yeah, with Bette Midler
Lily
and
Tomlin?
Lily Tomlin, because she was always like, "Oh, I got my sneaky snake out."
I've only seen that movie once, and it was years
Have
ago,
you?
so I don't remember that.
Well,
But-
now go
gotcha.
back and watch it. You're going to see her. Anywho's side note, quick shout out to the 210 people who are watching us live right
Fifth
now.
week.
Wow.
See, it was a good week. It was a good week. Make sure you like and subscribe to AfterBuzz TV Drama. Ding. Okay, so what was I going to say? Pulling up Mark J. Freeman.
There was so much this week. Like, how do we organize
Oh,
all of it?
Well,
Like-
to since we're on Kristen,
yeah.
throughout we were like, "Where's Kristen?"
Well, yeah, because they kept mentioning. They kept mentioning.
They kept mentioning Kristen?
that they couldn't find her.
Yeah,
They don't know where she is.
well,
we found out where she is.
Yeah, she's over. Okay, so they're over in like
Europe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And by they, her and Lani,
Mm-hmm.
and they have given themselves to Jesus.
They haven't taken their final vows.
They're not their final vow,
yeah.
but they've become nuns, which
The word says it.
I think everyone was like,
What?
Well, those are 2 characters that you wouldn't think to put together at
No.
all.
But what's great is that they have this bond of very tragic things that happened in their
Yes.
life, and also 2 mothers who lost their babies and who had to get out of Salem. Now, I don't know how that church didn't burn down to the ground when Kristen and DiMeras walked in. However,
Okay, so
it's still standing.
So from what we learned through conversation, it sounded like Kristen was there first. Right?
Because she said, was she the one that said, I was surprised to see you here?
She was surprised to see Lani.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, is Lani really like going, or is she like, is this like an undercover thing? Is she trying to get Kristen somehow? Or like, I don't know. I'm still not buying that they're both
nuns.
They just legitimately decided to give up the D and turn to Jesus.
Well, listen. With all the things that happened in Salem, at some point you like, you know what? God, I give up. I turn to you. I look to you.
Okay, Whitney.
I look to you. That's how I felt. I don't know. I mean, they both suffered very tragic things, so.
But you know,
I mean, it's a plausible idea that they would both, you know.
This will be good though.
But I don't 100% buy it yet.
Okay.
When they come back to Salem, because they're forming this type of friendship, and if Lani isn't undercover, Lani and Kristen teaming up together. Do you ever see that coming?
No, but it would have to be a new and improved Kristen. Like, it can't be evil Kristen.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we don't want to turn Lani evil, because she's been through too much. Although she's on the verge of telling Kristen about
Weird. She said
Gabi.
that Gabi can burn in hell. Yeah.
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 I don't know. I think Kristen can help Lani, though, with the whole Gabi situation when you turn back to Salem.
Possibly.
I think she's going to get her.
Possibly. I don't know, but that was just... Amen. Kristen, DiMeras, and Lani Price.
Those outfits looked uncomfortable.
Well,
I was just like, they've got to be like
just
itchy and.
But it was so jaw dropping because you weren't expecting it.
No.
Like all of a sudden they just go to the church and then there's a slight Olin Mills turn and to reveal Lani, and you're like, girl, what you doing there? And then next thing you know, somebody sits next to her and and then looks over and it's Kristen. It's like, now wait a minute.
Yeah.
What are y'all doing here? So that's interesting. So I'm excited to learn more about how they got there, why they there, all that.
It's a great storyline.
Yeah. It is. Oh my god. This week.
I know. Just so much. Because then there's Eli, who's back in Salem.
Yes.
Who's quit his job.
Yes.
Is now with Gabi.
Yes.
And
head of security.
Head of security
of DiMeras.
Abe is now mayor again.
Yes.
But they don't know where Lani is.
No.
I get
and
Lani left.
And the only person who has talked to Lani is her mother. Abe hasn't talked to her.
Yeah.
So, but it's sometimes it's weird because for us it seems like yesterday, like all this stuff happened, and like I'm sure for them it was like they walked onto set and was like, all right, all this stuff went down, and then the next day they were like, we're a year ahead.
I'm sure.
Like I could just picture Sal walking into wardrobe and seeing the nun outfit, and him being like, "Wait a minute."
Well, I'm
Like,
sure
wait.
with them because like hair got longer, makeup is different.
Yeah.
I mean, even behind the scenes, the makeup department even had to go through a whole 360 because they're literally
Eric Martsolf
doing
shaved.
a whole year. Yeah.
Although I think the only person who still looked the same, and you kind of just had to buy it, was Greg Vaughn.
Yeah, he looked exactly the same as he did the year before.
As he did when he walked in.
Facial hair, the same haircut, and they were just like,
Yeah.
good.
We're good with that.
It's like I bet it was like they finally got to him and was like,
We're done. We can't.
you're good. We're fine. Girl, stage 4.
Victor and Maggie looked pretty much the same, but they've looked the same for
Speaking of Victor,
God.
we'll go into that storyline with Ben, Ciara, Jordan, Victor, and Xander. Okay, so here we are, Sins. When we last left Ben, he walked in, saw a hand with nicely manicured nails, by the way, pink nails. They look good. Just laying there, and he thought it was Ciara. And then cut to when the time jump happened, he's in jail. And we're like, huh. And he's explaining, that what happened. And the flashback happens, and he's crying, and he's thinking Ciara, the body's cold. We find out that she got strangled with her scarf. And then in walks in this sweet voice and goes, Ben? And we look up, and it's Ciara, and we're like, thank you, Jesus. Okay, they didn't kill her off. But then poor Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh. So right now, what's our where we, as far as where we're recapping, the total number of deaths is 3. We got a baby, we got Kristen's baby, Haley, and now Jordan.
Yes.
So then they decide, well, I got worried that all this time, Ciara has been believing in him, and then walks in on the situation and is kind of like,
Changed their mind.
yeah.
They kind of made it seem like that when she was with Victor.
Well,
Until we got the flashbacks.
Different outfit, different hair, just different attitude.
Talk about looking good.
I love her with straight
the business Ciara really works for her.
Yes.
We've been talking about this for months now. We want her to take over the company, and she does it well.
She's the future of she's the future of the family. And she's like, I couldn't agree more.
Yes. Well, she is a part of the junior intern
executive training program,
who's doing great, and she's getting a promotion. But sitting there, I was like, oh, so she just done forgot about Ben, who's just sitting here rotting in jail? And I was like, how is this going to play out? And then something told me that when she left Victor's, she was going to the jail to see Ben. And I thought, she's going to tell him, I'm done with you, good day, rotten hell, peace out, I'm out. But when she was like, our plan is working, I was like, y'all are the new Bonnie and Clyde of Salem. Like, y'all are like slippery sleuths and like trying to figure. I don't know what. Someone should like put together all the crazy things that I do here. This is stupid.
And it was good because I'm wondering, why are they doing this plan? Because Ben is just saying in jail, who wants to be in jail? But they add a twist to it because he is close to death row. So they are.
There were a lot of twists with that like his cellmate, first of all. And then like they keep adding they keep sprinkling the info that he was sentenced to death.
Yes.
Lost both of his appeals.
Yes.
And I think
this is the last one.
More.
Yeah, this is the last appeal.
So this is why they're in desperate need. She's like, I gotta figure out what's going on. I gotta live with Victor. I gotta eavesdrop and see what is happening.
And she's moving into the mansion.
Yep, she's moving in.
She's in the company. And she's basically like, I know my grandfather had something to do with this, and I'm going to find out because I want to like clear your name.
Well, she thinks that
and get him off of death row.
She thinks that Xander did it. She thinks that Xander killed Jordan for Victor, and that's why Victor made him CEO. Made him CEO. That was another nugget we got, that Xander was made CEO.
Yeah.
Ben, though, is like, oh, I don't know, because Victor wanted Xander to kill me, and he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So, like, the whole question is, like, who actually killed Jordan?
Right.
And we haven't gotten that info yet. We just know it wasn't Ben.
Right.
Prediction. Somehow maybe someone found out that Sarah... Let's hear. Sarah is carrying Eric's baby. Victor somehow knows, and that's the leverage that he held over Xander. That's why he had to do it.
Oh, the info about the pregnancy?
Yeah, the info about the pregnancy. That's the only thing I could think of why Xander would want to strangle Jordan if it was under Victor.
But I don't think it was Xander.
Yeah,
I don't think it was either. But I'm just saying, if it's turning out to be that way, that's
like his
the
motive
only,
for doing
that's his big motive, because he would do anything to protect Sarah.
No, I think, just thinking story-wise, he's already too involved with like another mess that I think that it's going to be a surprise twist as to who actually did it. And right now I can't think of who actually did it, but I feel like whoever did it, it was at the hands of Victor, so that Victor's hands would be clean.
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But very interesting how, like, just seeing the time jump and seeing Ben in jail, and then like seeing how it played. Because I was like, they can't break up Sin.
No,
they can't. They can't.
They're like the power couple.
Yeah.
Twitter would be.
What was it on Soap Opera Digest? It was Marlena, John, and now Ben and Ciara.
Yeah.
They're like the new. They're like the new super couple.
This new super couple.
And I think it was unexpected.
Yes.
That's why, as well. But it has all the makings of like a Bow and Hope.
Yeah, definitely.
But like in reverse. Maybe. I don't know. I didn't think about that fully. So that's where we are with them, right? Okay, so since we're mentioning, I'm sorry, I'm hopping all around.
No, it's fine because I just wrote everything as it happened, and I'm like, we'll deal with it when we're doing
So
the
since
show.
we're mentioning Victor, let's jump to Victor and what's happening in the Kiriakis mansion with Xander and Mackenzie, who's been nicknamed Mickey.
Victor was like, what?
Well, and then like, you know, Eric, Nicole, and Sarah, and Xander and everyone. But when Maggie was like, oh, I spent all night in bed with Mickey. And I was like, with Mickey? And I was like, wait, isn't he done passed on the show? Because I know he passed
Years
in real
ago.
life.
Yeah.
But he passed on the show. And I was like, well, who is Mickey? And then I have to say, Lindsay Godfrey looks cute with a baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like when she came in with the baby on the hip, like, oh, there he is, his little stuff. Look at you. I was like, she looks so cute.
She looks good.
Yeah.
Well, she has 2 kids.
Does she?
I think she.
Yeah, we met them.
We were standing there
At the red carpet.
at the red carpet, and all of a sudden we see movie star Brecken Meyer with his and Lindsay's 3 kids, and they were hysterical. They were like rolling around, and she was like trying to parent from
the stage.
Yeah, and then she kept saying. It was funny.
Or like she was that mom that's like trying to work and also trying to parent. I'm sorry, what was the question about Sarah? So first off, when Eric and her were sitting there, I was like, oh, secret's out. Because the last time we saw them, they were in the living room and it was being questioned if she was pregnant and if it was his. Well, then she's like, oh, you can go to your daddy. And she starts walking. She walks past Eric, and I'm like, ain't that the daddy? To Xander. And I'm like, what? And then they did the flashback of right from that moment, and then Xander walking in and saying, I'm the father. And then saying that, like, yes, they slept together one time, but then they slept together again.
Yeah.
And I was like, aha. Okay.
Yeah.
But then I realized that, okay, so then Xander also doctored up fake paternity test, showed it to Nicole. So Nicole knows the truth too. And so it's Nicole, Xander, and Sarah that know the truth that Mackenzie is actually Eric's and not Xander's. What I was surprised about was that this secret has been kept for the past year. Was anyone else surprised?
Yeah, a secret has been kept that long, absolutely.
And now, of course, that we're here, it's like, the guilt is just killing me. I'm like, girl, you done kept that secret for a whole year.
The guilt should be gone now.
That guilt should be long gone and buried, and, like, we're done.
Historically, though, these, like, oh, this baby is not, or the father is not who they think. These can last for years.
Yeah.
I don't think they can make it last for years in this day and age of, you know, they need to move things a little bit, move things along a little bit faster.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's been like years where you thought one person was the father and not.
And then it was someone else. Yeah. So that was interesting, and I don't know. What did you guys think about that?
It was good.
I mean, I was like, okay, that's happening.
Well, I like the. I do.
This is the thing that's happening.
I do like the twist though, because we just left before the time jump. You know, Nicole says yes, Sarah's pregnant. I thought, okay, it's all gonna come out. And with the promo, you're thinking, okay, Sarah and Eric are now together. But no, I think it's interesting that Xander stepped in there. I didn't see that one coming, honestly. I didn't think he would do that. I thought, okay, you know, once Sarah's pregnant, it's all out.
Yeah.
Because even Eric had some flashbacks about how Sarah freaked out every time there was a baby mentioned around him. He still don't think, I mean, he's still questioning it right now.
He still questions it.
He is. He's like, I still can't believe that's Xander's baby. But I thought that was good that they jumped in and they did that. Just adds more twist to it. And
then, baby aside, Nicole and Xander are now working at Basic Black. They've
Xander is CEO of Titan.
Right.
And...
Oh, no. You're right. Sorry.
Yes.
Brady and Nicole rebooted Basic Black. Xander wants Titan to
work with them. But Basic Black
is under DiMeras.
Is under DiMeras Enterprises, which is still crumbling. Apparently.
Yeah.
But Xander has done one. Everyone does wonders with Titan.
Yeah. For a while.
Yeah. But Xander's been doing great with Titan and is now trying. And then Brady was like, well, why would you want to work with him? And it's like, then he's looking at Nicole like, you know why. B-A-B-Y. Right?
Is Brady still in the mansion, the Kyriakis mansion?
No, he moved out.
He moved out.
Yeah.
Okay.
He moved out. Yeah.
Okay.
So they did the flashback of when Victor gave Xander the CEO position and fired Brady. And I think that's when Brady moved out of the Kyriakis mansion.
Okay.
It was mentioned in a conversation with Brady and Maggie.
Oh,
that it,
okay,
like leaving
okay.
leaving the mansion was. He said something like leaving the mansion was one of the best, things for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was also a mention. Tracy Runko in the chat room mentioned that the night Mickey was born was a horrible night. The horrible night she was born. So that's kind of saying that shiz went down
that night.
Yeah.
It could be a baby switch.
It would just go in line with soap opera storytelling, but who knows? Like,
I hope and pray that it's not.
it may not be.
Dear Sister Lani and Sister Kristen, let's all pray together that there's no baby
Let us
switch.
pray.
Let us pray. Very hard.
I cannot wait till they get back to that flashback of the night.
I want to know what happened that night and what
I feel like it's going to be a while.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, because I think there's a lot of other stuff that we have to get to first.
It'll be interesting to see how long they drag some of this stuff out and how quickly some of it's resolved.
I think it's going to be a while. I think you have to be patient with it. It's not going to happen quickly.
Do we like the name Mickey?
Mackenzie?
Mickey?
It's a name.
It's a name. I personally, I'm with Victor. I'm with Victor. I like Mackenzie better. Mickey is just, I think of that song, oh, Mickey, you're so fine, you're so fine.
I know a couple of Mackenzies that I'm cool
that
with.
Go by
so
Mickey?
No. They go by Mackenzie, but...
Or Ken's or something.
I think, I like that it was in honor of, but then I was just kind of like,
But yeah, I don't think I've ever heard the nickname Mickey for Mackenzie. But I went with it. I'm like, okay.
I agree with you, Tony. I like how they honored Mickey.
Yes.
But...
I was just kind of like...
Oh! Yes! Mickey, you're so fine, you blow my mind. Hey, Mickey.
Luckily,
hey,
when
hey, Mickey. Hey.
She's still going.
Sometimes you just got to leave him there for a second. And then we'll jump back in.
Himself out, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Bring it on.
But yeah. Okay. And that's pretty much it with that storyline, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Eric's still working at the Horton Center. He was trying to help JJ. JJ punched him in the face.
Oh yeah. Yes. Because when JJ came into the pub, Eric noticed that he had all the signs and symptoms of being high.
Yeah.
And wanted to help him, and that's how he ended up at the Horton. Oh, there's a fundraiser that's happening. Eric and Nicole are together, but for 2 seconds I thought they were.
Yeah.
Because when he walked into Basic Black, when the time jump first happened, they kind of looked like they had been estranged. And then also, Nicole was like, I don't want to talk about like that or talk about Eric. And I was like, oh boy. But then it was like, hey, can I count on you for a donation for the fundraiser? And then she, did that. Of course you can. And then it was like, and I was like, oh, okay. Because I was like, oh, so, all right. But they're together. So that's good. Yeah. All right. So moving on to Princess Gina, Steffi, John and Marlena. Oof. What is she painting?
I took it as she's painting a new portrait of Stefano.
Question. Let's take a survey right now. Show of hands, who thinks it's Stefano DiMeras? Show of hands, who thinks it's someone else? Show of hands, who thinks it... No, I don't want to say that.
No. I'm kind of, I said no, I don't think it's Stefano, but I'm kind of on the fence because the way Gina was talking to Steffi, and she called him Steffi several times, it was how she used to talk to Stefano.
Right.
So, and then Chad, we found out, was communicating with Stefano.
Only through Messenger.
But Chad mentioned that there were things that only happened in private conversation that no one else was privy to except him and Stefano. So unless whoever that mystery person is found all those personal things out, then maybe it is Stefano.
I don't know, but nothing stays private in Salem.
This is true. What's done in
There's
the dark
no
comes to the
VPN in
light.
Salem.
No.
Here's the thing. I'm going to be a little honest. I love the character of Stefano.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's a little uncomfortable that the show continues to allude that Stefano is still alive when we know that Joe
Mascolo
has actually passed away like a few years ago.
Yeah.
But kudos to Joe being the only actor I know that still has work, even in death.
Yeah.
Kudos to that. But it's sometimes a little uncomfortable. It's kind of like
it would be very ill-advised of them to actually bring in another actor to play Stefano. They cannot do that.
That's gonna
absolutely
be
not.
Really
I'm on board. I'm on board. Like with this, we can see his hand with the cigar
and the ring.
But I don't want to see a face. I don't want to hear a voice because it can't be Joe Mascolo, and Joe Mascolo is Stefano.
Yes.
Like if they're yeah.
I feel like whenever this reveal happens, whenever we see this new portrait, I think it's gonna be another moment. Like I feel like these gas moments have not ended. Like this is just week one.
Yeah.
Oh,
and I feel like they're just getting started. So like I'm just ready for Princess Gina to unveil.
Turn the portrait around.
Yeah. But so speaking of Princess Gina, her getting close to John.
My apartment flooded.
Right.
I know.
And then he's like, "Well, I've got an idea. Why don't you come stay with me?" And I'm like, "Really?"
I'm surprised he said that.
Well, because there was mentioning that he and Marlena hadn't been connecting. And it almost made it seem like there was a rift between John and Marlena.
Well, that was
really, we found out later what really happened.
It was
it's
Gina.
because of her. She sent her Marlena off to this huge,
remote, no Wi-Fi, no communication.
Thing.
Yeah.
But yet she was communicating through letters. But I was also kind of like, girl, there is nothing that remote to where you can't send an email.
Sidebar. I laughed out loud because all week we were seeing this 6 months ago, 7 months ago, 9 months ago, and then on Friday's episode it was 1 hour ago.
Did it say that?
Because in the scene with Gina and John mentions like she could have at least written a letter, and then Hope has a flashback and it says 1 hour ago, and it's of Gina ripping up a letter from Marlena.
That is funny.
I cracked up. I was like, good job.
That's hilarious. 1 hour ago.
1 hour ago.
But then she had like the whole stack. She ripped that one, but then there was like a whole stack of them in there. My favorite was the whole like trying to seduce him and being like, oh my, oh dear.
That was another laugh out loud.
And then like,
because she was just like.
Yeah.
She just fainted.
It was kind of like, oh, there was still water in there, by the way.
I know, you have it all over yourself. Good thing you're wearing that apron.
Oh, should I take my apron off?
No, keep it on, please. Thanks.
But then it was almost as if to say, not the face, and then she just got it there. But then what was so funny was that when she did it, she went. Shh. Oh, and I was like, girl, yes, that's acting, bitch. Yes. She was surprised herself, like, shh. Oh dear. Oh my.
And John wasn't even in the room.
Right, no. And then she comes out, and then that happens, and then the way that John was talking, because there was one point where he and Hope Princess Gina we're talking, and she was like, "Do you miss her?" And I was like, "Girl, they done killed Marlena." And then that whole thing came out that she was. And I was like, "Oh." But when she said, "Do you miss her?" I was like, "Where'd she go?
Yeah.
Is she dead?" Because I almost went to a board and tallied up deaths in Salem.
Deaths in Salem.
And then
prisoners in Salem.
I was like, "Oh nope, we're good, not dead." But Marlena comes busting in, and she's like,
Am I
Am I
interrupting
doing something?
because she was looking like, no. Excuse me?
Because they were sharing the glass of wine that
But
did
she
not
was
spill.
also-
Yeah. Oh, and
she
she was also in her camisole.
Yeah.
Half nude.
And then, of course, she's like looking off camera and being like,
Now, if they are not playing
They
together,
held that shot for the longest time, too.
that's Princess Gina. Come on.
well, she's been doing a good job for the past year, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Marlena hasn't been there, though.
Yeah.
So now that Marlena isn't back in the picture, and she sees that,
And, and also them talking about how long it's been.
Oh.
I was
yeah.
like,
I haven't been with anyone since rape. And John starts laughing. He was like, girl, it's a long time.
right.
I know.
And then he
Cobwebs
was
down there. No.
And then he was like, it's been a while. It's been a long time. I was like, are y'all really having this conversation?
He's
Is
like,
this
if I
about,
was single. And I was like, yeah.
Don't go there.
I was like,
Making
it's
it
like,
awkward.
Is this about to lead up? And then, of course, she did the, this is his hand, and she went. And I was like, so you don't feel that? Oh, okay. You don't? Oh, okay. So you don't Oh, okay.
And John's a lightweight. He had like 2 glasses of wine and was stumbling around.
Yeah.
And
He was like, oof, oof.
Well, he
oof.
did say that him and Doc don't do this very often.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's been a while.
But he seemed to be like the type of wine was like he was like surprised that it was really good. But there was a second where I thought I feel like he feels like this is a familiar taste and he
Yes.
doesn't know why it's so familiar.
Oh, it's because it's probably a wine that they drank
That they
together
had,
when
yeah.
he was under Stefano.
Yeah.
When Gina and Con John were,
Yeah. And of course
each other's lobster.
she's over there.
Giving face.
Anywho. All right.
Should we get the business out of the way?
Is that where we at now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. All right. It's time for a little bit of AfterBuzz TV business. Chelsea Overrocker, take it away.
Yes. Well, before we move on to our next topic, we just want to say thank you so much for making AfterBuzz TV the ESPN of TV talk. In order to help us grow, we ask please subscribe to our YouTube channel, give us a rating on iTunes, and leave us a comment. Again, we really just want to thank Kevin and Maria for creating AfterBuzz TV because we're able to engage with you guys as fans and do what we love.
Hey.
Horse now.
That announcement brought to you by the kind folks here at AfterBuzz TV. All right, so let's get into some tidbits.
Another shocker was that Ben's cellmate is Will.
Yeah.
Yes.
Will Horton's in jail.
But Will looked a little calm in jail.
He looked very calm in jail.
Like,
he
he
looked like he didn't have a problem with it.
He was just kind of like, well, and then we were all wondering. We were like, okay, wait, like, why are you in jail? And then it was revealed that he killed Adrienne.
Was it me or was the reveal that he killed Adrienne? Like, was there? Did I miss something? The first time I had heard that was during a casual conversation between John and Roman. That was the first time I was like, oh, we knew that Adrienne had passed away, I think, but we didn't know how, and we didn't know why Will was in jail, and that was the reveal. It was just like, well, it's never been the same since he killed Adrienne, and I was like,
No,
I thought it was Sonny when
Yes.
Sonny and
Justin
Justin were
We're
talking. Yeah.
It kept going back and forth between their conversation and the conversation that Will was having with Ben.
okay,
And then that's when it was revealed.
got it, okay.
Because Sonny was like, like they were basically both kind of saying, like, I miss her and I can't believe that she's dead. And then Sonny said, and that my husband killed her.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. I forgot about that.
That's when that happened.
Got it.
But now everyone's like, so now okay, wait, let's go back to the death tally. So we have baby Kristen, Haley,
Adrienne.
and Adrienne. Wait, was there someone else?
No, just those 3.
Jordan. 4.
Whoop.
Yeah, see? You gotta keep up. Okay, here we go. Here we go again. Death tally in Salem.
Oy vey.
We have Kristen's baby, Jordan, Haley, Adrienne. So our death tally is up to 4. 4 people have died. in Salem during this time jump. But I was sad that Adrienne died because then that means that Judy Evans won't be on.
I know.
That was really sad.
Yeah.
I love Judy.
But like we said, no one stays dead in Salem.
Well, look.
Depending on the circumstance. They got that spark of life. You can just...
Well, if they have that spark of life.
We didn't see Rolf, though. We don't know what Rolf is up to, if he's still around or
because he wasn't in the apartment.
No.
In Princess Gina's apartment. So, I don't know.
Just realized that.
But we also had a great moment with Sonny and Rafe when they took the kids out to the park. And, you know, they were mentioning Ari. Ari's now a little older and has a Manny.
New trade in Salem.
I mean, might be time to slip into something more comfortable. But that was an interesting interaction that the Manny had with Sonny because he asked, like, what are you doing later? Like, would you like to... And it like, I was at the TV, like... And Sonny was just kind of like, oh, yeah, no, sorry, I can't make it. Maybe some other time. And I'm like, did that just go over your head? Is there something?
No, I think there's interest there. It's going to happen. It's just the start of it.
But Will and Sonny are still married, right? Will's just in the...
He's in jail.
He's in the
Slammer.
I was going to say the crapper, but I'm like, yeah,
that's a different
Slammer.
one.
Yeah.
So that was... I like that interaction, and I like that they, you know, were discussing... Poor Ari.
I know. Parents just keep disappearing.
Yeah. Like, and if I think with all this, if she doesn't become the next Tammy Brady, like, I don't know who, I mean, I thought it was going to be Ciara, but she grew up to be in love with Ben, but, you know. So, yeah. So that was really with that storyline. You know,
our questions are...
How did Adrienne die?
At the hands of Will, yeah.
At the hands of Will. And... where, how has this year been for Sonny and Will?
Right.
Because when the police officer came over to the cell with Ben and Will, he was like, you have a visitor. And Will was like, oh, I have a visitor. And he was like, not you. And I was like, damn. And he was like, you. And so it was Ciara visiting Ben. But from what it seems like, Sonny hasn't visited Will.
No.
Right.
So, because Will was just kind of like, oh, I thought it would be Sonny.
Right, maybe.
And it sounds like Sonny hasn't came, but Will still wears the
wing was on,
his wedding ring. So I don't know. There might be trouble in Rainbow Land. Unicorn Paradise.
You know what? That's good, though. This will be a really good plot for them, so I'm glad they're adding some spice.
I know, maybe
to it.
they can be more than pop-ins.
No.
More what?
I said maybe they can be more than pop-ins now.
Oh, pop-ins.
Because Will and Sonny were reduced to being they just popped in.
Pop in and react.
Yeah. But
it's
now
like,
maybe they can have some of their own stuff.
Something happened in Salem.
Just wait. Yeah, it's gonna get good between them. It's gonna get good.
But I'm interested in seeing like what their relationship has been like.
Yeah.
The past year, because with the death of Adrienne and with the fact that it was Will, like how is Sonny feeling about Will? Because obviously Will still loves Sonny, but there was no indication on how Sonny feels about Will. Oh.
And between the Manny and Sonny, I'm telling you, it's gonna spice things up in days.
And side note, contrary to popular belief, I do like the characters of Will and Sonny.
We all do.
Yes.
People around here telling me how.
The other week it was that we didn't like Jack and Jennifer.
Honey.
We try. We try to make everybody happy. Can't
do it. All right, so moving right along to Gabi, Eli, Lani, Julie, and Doug. Gabi obviously still has control of the app.
But it sounds like she hasn't. Well, she hasn't had to use it because Lani did what she wanted, and Lani's been praying for Jesus.
But then while she was, getting it on with Eli, she decides to tuck her phone in and causing Julie to have a heart attack.
Yeah, that was an
Well, not a heart attack, but caused the heart to race. Doug's place is now Julie's place.
And it's now healthy. And there's a new trade working. Did you see the waiter?
Oh, I sure did.
I knew I was like, Tony noticed.
I was like, Who that back there? There were 2 people I saw. One was a background actor, and I was like, who that? Who is that up all that in the background? So, and it was newly renovated, and apparently Doug had worked on it, and surprised Julie with it, and it looks great.
Yeah.
I think now, I think maybe that's why they created the bistro, because maybe they were gonna renovate Doug's place.
Oh, that's right.
So now we have like the fancy place, and now we have like a new like hip, like healthy something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So that's that. Again, Lani is one step away, one prayer away from being a nun. Eli and Gabi are together.
That didn't surprise me. Like, it happened, but I wasn't like, oh. I was like, oh,
I
yeah.
knew they were gonna
No,
get
I was
together.
like, oh, really?
I knew they were gonna get back together. That's
I
what
kind of
Gabi
saw it
wants.
coming because after Lani had left Eli, and Gabi went and comforted him.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah, they're
That's
gonna.
gonna happen.
leading
That's
into
where that's
something.
going. Yeah.
But that flashback of Lani and Eli being at the police station and him being like, I can't do this. I'm like, girl, you left your police commissioner job because Lani was working there? Like, you can just be like, hey, you getting the transfer.
Yeah.
So.
And they made mention that there's a new commissioner, but I don't think we know who it is.
I mean, who else would it be? Rafe.
Oh.
That's who I thought.
I had no idea. I was like, oh, I wonder who the new commissioner
That's
is.
who I thought. I thought
I
it
didn't
was.
even think of Rafe.
I was just
Yeah.
like, because,
Sorry.
because remember, like back in the day, it was between Hope
right,
and
yeah.
Rafe, and then
No,
Hope
you're right.
got it, and then Hope gone, and then wait, wasn't Rafe it for like a hot minute?
Maybe.
Or no, or maybe they put Eli in, and then they still forgot Rafe. So now maybe it's not Rafe. I don't know. My initial thought was Rafe.
My mind went to nobody. Like, I was clueless.
Oh,
So, yeah.
my mind was like, it's gotta be Rafe.
All right. Or they wouldn't have made Hope. No.
No, because she's too busy
Wait.
with John.
I mean, maybe as part of her ruse as Hope, she got fired. Oh, there's so much to remember.
I don't know. Yeah, no. Princess Gina wouldn't be bothered being a police officer.
No.
Very
Or
true.
maybe it's someone else. Who knows?
Maybe it's a new character they're bringing in.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Because
Mayhaps.
I was trying to remember if Rafe was sitting at his regular desk this week or a different desk. No, because he was only seen outside.
Yeah, he wasn't seen at a desk.
And
at a desk. Or at work.
Well, maybe it's not him because they would have maybe mentioned that already.
Yeah. No, we'll see.
I don't know.
Something else we need to learn.
It's Terrence. All right. Anyway, Chad, Abigail, Gabi, Stefano. We kind of covered the Stefano part. Gabi is running around DiMeras Mansion like, I run this, because she busted up in on Chad and Abigail after they done did it. I'm sorry. Made love.
So, Chad, the reason he's in contact with Stefano, is, according to what he told,
Abigail?
is that they're working to try to get control back from Gabi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, because she... Abigail was like, nope, I've had it. We're moving out today. And he was like, no, you can't. But after they had made love and she was like, oh my God, I thought parents were great for us. We were so connected and da-da-da. He was like, I have something to tell you. I was like, he done did it with somebody else. And then it was
Well, no, on
the
the app, we know or did he?
I haven't caught up with it. Last I saw, though,
I don't think he actually did.
I don't know. They were like in a business deal, and he was at a hotel, and he was with
I know there was
her.
the girl trying to
Yes.
get with him, but
Yes.
I don't think he actually got with her.
So it sounds
Okay.
like there was a rocky stage like a year ago, and then they done came back in Salem, and like everything is like beautiful again.
Yes.
Yes, and I'm sure on the app they explained that.
Yeah.
Them coming back to Salem.
I
Yeah.
don't like that we now have the reduced DiMeras Mansion set again. They did this a few years ago. They didn't have like the big DiMeras set with like the foyer and the staircase and then the big living room and Stefano portrait. Now we just have like the library. They did this year, but that's acting as the DiMeras Mansion. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's just not the same. It
Well, it's
doesn't
just
feel like the DiMeras
It's
Mansion.
just a different room.
But it doesn't feel like the DiMeras mansion.
Well, it's just a different room.
I know, but it doesn't feel like the DiMeras.
But you're still in the DiMeras mansion.
I know, but
You'll be okay.
It's not the same.
You'll be okay. Side note, shout out to the 224 people who are now
Hey,
watching us.
wow.
everybody.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We are definitely opening up the phone lines because we want to hear what you guys have to say. So we're going to...
We can speed through the rest.
Yeah, we're going to get through this
And then-
very quickly. And then, shocker, Kayla and Justin are together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because them grieving over Adrienne and them both kind of...
Kayla's been alone for like
forever.
a year or something.
And Julie is all about it. She's like, oh my gosh, this is great because she came to pick up dinner for two.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been on the phone like, oh yeah, I miss you too. Oh, I'll see you soon. Yes, okay, baby. Oh,
Okay,
I love you,
baby.
I'll see you soon. Okay, bye-bye. Side note, Mary Beth's hairdo right now looks real good.
Yeah.
It does.
I like it. I like the like full like bob curl.
Mm-hmm.
Looks good.
That's good.
And then I like the reveal of Justin. Like there was the hand on the shoulder and then the spin around and it was him and you're like, and then I was kind of like, I like this.
You like
I'm
it?
intrigued by this.
It's gonna get interesting because we know Patch is back.
Is he?
Yes.
Well, we know Stephen Nichols is back.
Well, Stephen Nichols, yeah.
Oh.
We don't know
that's
what's going
right.
on. We don't know the story behind it, but
Right.
we know Stephen Nichols is back on the show.
Interesting.
So we'll see.
So we'll see how that kind of develops.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right.
Well, that was your time jump of days.
Lord, I'm tired.
Yeah, that's a whirlwind. I will have to say this, and I'm going to reiterate this to the fans, because I know a lot of people are saying that they don't like it, and I think it's because it's not a familiar show. The show is new, but you have to give it a try. You also have to pay attention. Chelsea and I were talking about this the other day. Is that this is one of those moments, and we both do this when we watch Days. We're like, but still listening. And it's like, no, like you have to pay attention because you're going to miss something. When someone was like, did Haley die? It's like, yeah, they showed a whole portrait of her and said, in loving memory. That's a nugget that you got to put in your purse. So that way when they reveal more stuff, you can look in the purse and see what you got, put the clues on the board and be like, that equals that equals that. So that way you're not Julia Roberts with the whole equation in front of you trying to figure it out. So y'all pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. All right. It's now time for our favorite part of the show, which are our segments. And we're going to start with my segment, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. Oh, snap! Okay, now listen. There are some very important people who have contributed to this show in an amazing way. And they need acknowledgement for coming in, going into the office with the big tree of all the families and going, we're going to shake stuff up a bit. And they gave us this amazing time jump. I have to give my 3 snaps to the writers of Days. Y'all are turning out this, I don't know how long y'all had to stay up. I don't know how many scripts you had to write. I don't know how many meetings y'all had to have. But when I tell you this week and what's to come is amazing. And I'm going to give a shout out to, I wrote down the names. If I butcher your name, I'm sorry because I don't know you like that. I only see the name, but I want to make sure I give shout outs to all the writers. The writers are David Kresman, Catherine Shook, Rebecca McCarthy, Richard Culliton, Carolyn Culliton, I'm sure I butchered that, Joanna Cohen, Fran Myers, Elizabeth Snyder, Dave Ryan, Jeanne Marie Fold, Rick Dralton, Lorraine Broderick, Ryan Kwan, and of course, head writer, Ron Carlavati.
Yes.
You guys did that. You guys get Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. Also with the butchering of everyone's name. I am so sorry. Thank you. All right, and it's now time for...
I was going to start swaying.
Caption that!
She ain't here. Okay. This week's Caption That comes courtesy of Eve in prison. Not Christian Alfonso. There we go. In jail, raising hell. And this week's caption goes to Jamie Salem, or at jsalem118 on the Twitter, with her caption, "Oh, how I wish I jumped on Viv's gents when I had the chance, FML."
What is it?
Oh, how I wished I jumped on Viv's jet when I had the chance. FML. And if you don't know what FML means, Google it.
Well, I'm pretty sure we're glad that Vivian took that jet. Oh, snap.
Well, I mean, yeah.
That Vivian. There we go. And that has been
Caption that.
And now it's time for...
Hey, what? It's like, aw.
You know what I noticed is that I've never actually heard this because I listened to you sing it.
Really? Well,
I'm always like, and I'm like, oh, she's gonna sing it.
I'm gonna sing it. Okay, for this awe moment, this was a tough week. I love my sin, but I had to give it to Jack and Jennifer this week. The opening scene on Monday, I even literally was like, aw. He was there for her. I loved how he kept turning over the hourglass. You know, he was stretching her legs, reading to her. And then he had that moment where Jack was just breaking down, thinking, is she going to wake up? I keep turning over the hourglass, and Jennifer is still asleep. But he did not give up hope. So, Jack and Jennifer, you get my own awe moment for this week. Hey, why? It's like, aw.
Oh.
Oh.
And then
He said it's like, oh.
You're like, oh, you don't like my awe moment of the week?
No, it was a great awe moment of the week. So a shout out to Me World who had his old shiz moment of the week, which I am logging on to _Dishin Days on the Twitter, where you can follow us, so that we can retweet.
He put it in the chat room.
Oh. He did?
Yeah. Shall I recite?
Yeah. Say it.
Oh, sorry. From surprise to hashtag 2020 to the next Osha's moment of the week goes to Queen of Surprises, Marlena, who catches Gina and John having a moment. Oh, shiz.
For some reason, every time I watch his video that he does, I can just see how he looks doing it. Does that make sense? Like, yeah. So we'll make sure we in fact, here it is now. I'm retweeting the video now, so that way you guys can see Me World's Osha's moment of the week.
Yes.
All right, so now it's time for you guys to call in. We really want to hear your thoughts on this week's episodes of Days. Mm-hmm. So give us a call, 424-354-8302. That's 424-354-8302. Now, after we take your phone calls and before we end the show, we are going to show you what's to come this week on Days of Our Lives. So stay tuned for that, because that's going to be good. Or, Ryan, should we do it now while you set up?
Let's do it now.
All right.
Let's do it. Ooh.
So
Okay.
This is what's coming up on this week's episodes of Days of Our Lives.
Am I interrupting something?
Days has jumped forward 1 year in time,
I was set up.
I didn't do it. Adrienne is dead, and I'm the reason why.
and everyone wants to know
What happened? How did Adrienne die? We did everything we could.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So this week we're going to find out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oof.
That seems so painful because the way that Justin reacted is kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
like it must be.
Remember Wally Kurth, during our Day of Days interview with him last week, I think you were interviewing him, right? He said that the material he was given for this time jump was some of the most challenging of his career. So
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see if this is what he's talking about or what the material is that was so powerful.
But you know, that's the other thing about the time jump is that I feel like it is allowing actors to they're being given material that otherwise they wouldn't normally get.
Yes.
So like,
Well, I feel like they're being challenged a little bit
Yeah.
because it's like you tape an episode and then next episode you're working with people you haven't worked with before. You have
Yeah.
to develop a chemistry with them.
Yeah.
You have to emote to these things that haven't happened.
yeah,
You know, that have just been, you know, that happen kind of off screen or whatever. And
Yeah.
I think they're so far fantastic job.
I
Yes.
agree.
Yeah.
All right, let's find out what you guys think. Let's take our first caller.
Stand by. Oh, here we go.
There we are. Hello, caller. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days. You're on live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey guys, it's me, World.
Oh,
Hey,
Me
Me
World.
All right, Me
Oh,
World.
shiz.
Give us your thoughts. What did you think about this week of Days and the time jump?
This week was awesome.
Right.
Really awesome.
Yeah.
And I actually have a theory about Stefano DiMeras and who he might really be.
Okay.
I think Stefano is actually Stefan.
That's what everyone keeps saying.
Everyone in the chat room was saying that, yeah.
But for some reason, I feel like that's too much of a given.
Too obvious?
Yes, it's too obvious.
It needs to be someone more shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, but think about it. I think it's Stefan because one, Stefan and Gabi, they were at Nightham. So, but Stefano wants to take down Gabi. So that would kind of like put kind of like a bridge in that kind of relationship. And I think it's Stefan because Rolf, he used that syringe to transform Hope into Gina, who is to say that he used that same serum to transform a dead Stefan into Stefano.
But we have to go back to what Rolf told Gabi.
Is that there was
no spark of life to bring him back.
Spark, Gabi. Exactly. There's no way I can bring him back to life.
So if they want to stay true to what has happened so far, like Stefan can't come back.
And he has no heart.
And he has no heart. Very important detail. Yeah.
But
so it would be, they would have to do a lot of rewriting of what has happened the past few months in order for this to be Stefan. Or maybe Stefan has a freaking twin. Show loves to freaking do that. Bring in, I'm long lost. Exactly.
I feel like this team is trying to be very innovative. So I don't think they're going to repeat too much of what has already been done. So I think. Go ahead, Miro.
I think that Stefan's heart may be coming from either Adrienne or Haley or Jordan. We only have 3 people who died, so there's 3 chances for Stefan to get a new heart.
But Julie got the heart before all those people died.
True.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, anything they can.
Listen, anything
it
is
wouldn't be the first time.
Anything can be solved with a phone call. So there's that.
But we'll see. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Me World, for calling in, and thank you for your old shiz moment of the week. We appreciate you as always.
I really enjoy making those videos.
I can tell. I can visualize how you are when you do it. So I know you're enjoying them. So thank you. I enjoy watching them.
Oh, definitely. You're welcome.
All right.
Thanks, Me World.
Thanks, Me World.
All right, later.
Bye. Let's take another caller. Hello, caller. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days. You're on live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Mike Riley from New York.
Oh, hey, Mike.
Hello, Mike Riley from New York. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. This is actually the shortest amount of time it's ever taken me to get in. I was almost surprised that you answered so quickly.
Well, welcome.
Nice job, guys.
You're welcome. We felt like it was you,
Thank
so
you.
we were like, we'll let him in. Mark's not here, so we're fine.
Right. Okay,
what did you
great.
think about this week of days?
I love the time jump. I think it's amazing. But can I just touch on something the previous caller was mentioning?
Yeah.
It's very possible that Rolf lied to Gabi about there being no spark in Stefan because he had planned from back then to maybe use Stefan since it's Stefano's son as a body substitute. So we can't really take what Rolf says to heart all the time. So let's just put that out there.
True.
That's true.
I mean, this is true, but I don't know. I just feel like the whole shadowy figure and everything like that would be too obvious. That it's either actually Stefano, and the way they're gonna play it is that they're never gonna show his face. They're just gonna show his silhouette and stuff.
Boring.
Or it's gonna be someone more shocking.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
I'm anxious to see.
Yeah.
But I love the time jump, and I do want to say, if I can give like a reverse snaps up, like a snaps down to anything, I just want to say to and this is not to all the fans, but a very vocal portion of the fans who all they do is complain. We see the same stuff all the time. It's repetitive. And then the writers offer you like this time jump, which has never been done before. And like, I don't care if you watch it and you don't like it. That's legitimate. But before it's even aired, that you're complaining so loudly about it,
Mm-hmm.
after complaining that they don't give you anything new, it's repetitive, they give you something new, and without even having seen it, you're already complaining about it. Shame on you, because this is not like a primetime show where it's just 12 to 24 episodes for the, for a year.
Yeah.
This is 54 years, 5 days a week of writing, and what it takes to maintain that is it's incredulous. And there are only so many life occurrences that happen that they can write about before you start getting into repetition. And that's why they go into all this fantasy stuff that the fans complain about, because it gives them more to write about.
Yeah.
So be a more nuanced viewer and really appreciate what it takes to write for a show 55 years. 5
trying to
days
be
a week,
original all the
because
time.
it is a yeoman's task, and they are doing a great job, and that's what I have to say this week.
Yes, that was beautifully put, Mike Riley, and I 100% agree with you. I was reading a lot of the comments too, and a lot of people were saying that they didn't like the time jump, and I was like, I don't understand how you can't, because it's a brand new show. It feels like a brand new show, and it also makes me feel like, and I haven't had this in so long, like I have to know what's going to happen. Like even with this week there was a lot of breaking news. There were the impeachment trials. Sometimes days was on, sometimes it wasn't. But when I tell you at 10 o'clock at night, I was checking the NBC app to see if the new episode was up, and the second it was up, I was watching it. Every day I had to, not because I had to do the show, but because there was this excitement of, I got all the nuggets from the day before. Now the nuggets are going to be expanded, but then I'm going to pick up some more nuggets, and I just want to know what's happening with this time jump. It's so good.
But to complain before it's even aired, before they even do the time jump, it's that's you're just a person that likes to complain. Watch it first and then make your informed decision.
Full of those people.
Yeah, it's like give it a beat, give it a chance, really pay attention, because also what again that maybe shows that fans are watching it like we have, where you're listening to it, but you're not really taking in the information. This week you had to watch, you had to keep your eyes glued to the screen, unless you were gonna miss something. Just like I missed the 1 hour before because I had looked down for a second.
Little details.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Mike Riley, for that. I appreciate it.
You're so welcome.
All right.
Enjoy the time jump.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, let's get another caller. Hello, caller. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days. You're on live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Robin from Boston.
Hey, Robin from Boston. How are you?
Good. How are you?
We're doing great. How did you think about this week's episodes of Days?
Oh my God, I loved it. Right. And it was my first time for a Day of Days, and that was amazing also. But this time jump has been so exciting. I look forward to watching it every day.
Yes.
And I agree with Mike. I am too so sick of hearing people complain constantly. It is awesome. Yeah. It is one of the best things they've ever done. Love it, love it, love it.
How did you enjoy Day of Days? Was that your first time going?
It was my first time, and I absolutely loved it. Awesome. It was so cool. And getting to meet Sin, oh my God. Chelsea, oh my God.
I know,
he was so sweet. Oh. He knew I was from Boston. He shook my hand. He was just so cool.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very awesome.
So cool. Even right before the interview, Victoria came up to me and said, I love your segment. And Rob came up to me as well during different times and just said that they really appreciate it. So, yeah, they're just as lovely as they are in person.
I love that
they were. Honestly, it was great. I'd love to go all the time now. Now I'm going to get hooked on it.
Yeah. Well, now you have to come every year, so that way you can it's always a great way to meet people and meet other fans and also meet the cast. It's such a great event.
Of course.
You have to put it in your calendar every year to come.
Yes.
Definitely. It's awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for calling in.
I just can't believe how awesome the show is though right now. Like I said, I look forward to it, and with the stupid hearing, I'm watching it on Cozy.
Cozy.
It's so frustrating. But anyway, it's been amazing. I just love it.
Oh my gosh.
Love it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for calling in and sharing your thoughts. We appreciate it.
Yes.
Thanks, Robin.
Okay.
Thank you, Robin.
And we'll talk soon.
Yes, we will.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye. Oh, I love it when new callers call in.
She's so sweet.
She's so sweet.
Aw.
All right, let's take this next caller. Hello, caller. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days. You're on live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Tim Rowell over in Orlando, Florida.
Hey, Tim, from Orlando. Oh my God, you almost kind of sounded like Mike Riley.
I know. I was like, calling in again.
Is he calling in again? Did he forget something?
I work on this, my second gig, so a little impersonations.
Okay. Oh well, can you impersonate Dr. Rolf?
$20.
Oh, I'll Venmo you.
Venmo, yeah.
So what did you think of this week's episodes?
I love The Week.
Yeah.
I've been watching this show probably since I was 10 years old. I'm 40 now.
Mm-hmm.
Started watching it with my grandmother, and my mother started watching after that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really nice to see something different.
Right.
It's watching it this long, I can actually kind of look back and appreciate where I'm hoping that Ron is going with the show, and just kind of weaving this golden thread through the days of John as the pawn and implanting memories in him and taking memories in and out, to Princess Gina, to being able to perfect this process, knowing that eventually Stefano's body is going to give out and bring on somebody else to implant his memories into. So it was really nice to see. I'm a big fan of the huge umbrella storylines, all the cast. So it was really nice to see Ron kind of bringing everyone in again.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I've always appreciated what Ron has done as far as like keeping the history of the show and always kind of giving a nod to something that's happened previously. But now it's kind of like, it's gonna be which storyline this week intrigues you the most besides the Princess Gina storyline?
Probably I loved actually Monday's episode. It wasn't so much the storyline, but the acting and the writing, the nuances that were given to it that you don't really see a lot of in daytime due to time constraints.
Yeah.
But seeing Jack and Jennifer and Jack tending to Jennifer, and I had forgotten years ago what that relationship was like.
Yeah.
To actually see the history there and him caring for her and taking care of her. It was really nice to see that.
Yes.
You don't get a lot of time to see that on daytime anymore.
I agree. That montage of him taking care of her, again, like I said earlier, that was so beautifully done.
It was so great.
And you felt for him, like you felt like every day he was there just hoping she would wake up. And then to think about when she initially woke up, and his reaction and his happiness and everything, it's like, that's why, because he was by her side that entire year, just waiting.
Whole year.
Yeah.
Whole year.
Well, thank you, Tim.
I mean, you could really feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like when he's turning over the hourglass constantly. I mean, I felt it too. Even when he was breaking down, I started breaking down. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Did good.
Well, we heard rumors of Casey Moss getting ready to leave. I really hope that doesn't happen because his suicide storyline and now has been amazing as well.
Oh, the way I'm glad that they handed him this because I think it's great, again, when you're able to do something new and fresh with the character, and he's doing an amazing job with this, and you see him struggling and battling and like really in this dark place. And we gave him kudos back when he was possibly going to commit suicide before Gabi came in, like what he was doing then, and even now it's good to see that from him. It reminds us just how great of an actor he is. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for all y'all do. Love the show. Try to catch it as often as I can.
Catch it every Sunday here on AfterBuzz TV Drama.
If it's not the live broadcast, it's the podcast.
Yes. Thank you, Tim. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye, Tim.
Good night. All right, do we have one more caller, Ryan?
We are getting a ton of callers. We got one right here.
There we go. We'll take that one. Hello. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days. You're on live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Dwight.
Hey, Dwight. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good. How did you feel about this week's episodes of Days?
The time jump storyline was excellent, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
And
we really want to know, how do you feel about Will being in jail?
Oh, I was so sad for him.
Yeah. Because, we had a couple of people tweet us, and they did say they were concerned on how you were going to feel about Will being in jail. So I'm glad that you can...
Holding it together.
Yeah, that you're holding it together, that you're just sad, but, that everyone who's watching, Dwight is okay.
But I hope he gets to get out,
Yeah.
when they find out who really killed Adrienne.
Yeah. Well, they said he did, but we don't know how it happened. Do we feel like it was accidental?
Maybe. I can't see Will like
intentionally
with intent to kill. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe it was some kind of
freak accident.
Yeah, but he has to pay for it anyway.
Yeah.
Even though it was an accident.
I hear Days is going to be on a production break very soon.
Yeah,
that was the other big drama this week.
That was the other big drama, is that they're going on like a very long hiatus, but that's to close the gap of how they're filming, from what allegedly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Is Ciara Massey going to come to the show? Hopefully.
We are crossing our fingers, our toes, our eyes that he will come back to the show. We had him here like the first couple of years that we started the show. It was actually him and Billy Flynn. So Billy Flynn came on, and then right after we did like an interview with Chandler. I think something happened like that, but they were here like at the same time.
I want it to be a very special show.
It will be a very very special show.
A very special Dishin Days.
Very special edition of Dishin Days featuring Chandler Massey, Will Horton. We are doing our best to try to make that happen.
Michael Mattis.
Yeah.
There's something I'd like to say to you.
Okay. Yes, sir. I'm listening.
I hope you get your designer day fashion moment soon.
I'll leave that to the actors, but thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dwight, for calling in. Thank you so much, Dwight.
Thanks, Dwight. Oh, yeah, there we go.
And thank you for all your support. We see all of your tweets and all of your messages, and we are really trying to get Chandler in, and I hope that we can make that happen for you. So thanks, Dwight.
Thanks, Dwight.
Bye. Love you.
Bye. Oh, how sweet.
That's so sweet. All right, so Ryan, do we have any other callers? Is that it?
No, we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
Well, that has been your week of days. Michael Bradys.
Yeah.
I'm now picturing Michael Madison's skin for chickens.
Keep picturing it.
Michael Madison.
You can find me on social media at MLMattis1 and on Twitter. No, Twitter MLMattis1, Instagram MLMattis. Chelsea, where can the lovely folks find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Chelsea Overocker. That's Chelsea with my and on Twitter at Chelsea Overocker.
And you can find all of us on Instagram and Facebook at Dishin Days or on Twitter __ Dishin Days. The ad will always be implied. And you can find little old me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony on my website, loungingwithtony.com. Hey guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We truly appreciate you. We'll be back with another full recap of your favorite hit soap opera Days of Our Lives. Until then, jump forward because it's about to get good. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.